Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris and I am your host. When we went to break, I was talking with Jimmie Wilson, who is a candidate for Alameda County District Attorney. Jimmie, let me just ask you a blunt question. Where do you stand on the death penalty?
I am totally against the death penalty.
And why?
Well, it goes right back to my legal studies training. When I was at Berkeley, I wrote a paper on the death penalty, and I did my own research. And I came to the conclusion that in this country, or in general, we do not use the death penalty in a just and humane way. And I also think that it is the ultimate penalty.
It is the ultimate penalty because even, I shouldn't say even, if you charge a person and the person is convicted, and if it turns out later that person was innocent, you can't go back and reverse that. Now let me ask you a question about, you indicated you were going to target violent crimes. What do you mean by that, and how do you intend to do that?
Well, it's a two-phase. First of all, I was a gang prosecutor. Right now I'm doing preliminary hearings. Before that, I was a gang prosecutor. And what we did as, I think people think of gang prosecutors, they think about, charging gang clauses and these heavy penalties. That's not 100% true. What we did was we used intel to target people who were going to commit violent crimes in our community to try to suppress those individuals. I was a part of Ceasefire, which is a Oakland-based preventive program to try to target low-level gang offenders to get them to put down guns.
Yeah, I'm quite familiar with Ceasefire, and it has been a fairly effective program.
Right.
I guess during the last year with the pandemic, it's been difficult to walk the streets and talk to people.
Right.
But you talk also about accountability and compassion. How do you mix those two together?
People don't understand that sometimes people think when you hold someone accountable for what they do, that normally means that you're going to incarcerate them or put them in jail. That's not true. I always think of when I was a child and I did something wrong, my parents didn't ignore it, right? There were consequences to it. And they hoped that because of those consequences, you learned your lesson and you wouldn't do it again. There's nothing different than that in the criminal justice system. I think depending on what the person has done, we have to address that person as a human being with their own utility and say, hey, you're responsible for doing this. You need to change that behavior. What can we do to get you to change?
And you also talk about something that I find to be interesting. Invest in crime prevention. How do you invest in crime prevention?
That is our mentoring programs. That is, it's what's so great about going out there campaigning right now is that I'm meeting people in the community that have these programs like Guardian Gym, or there's a program in Oakland where they're teaching young African-American kids, young kids, how to do lacrosse. There's these programs out there that the criminal justice system can tap into, especially the juvenile system, and to give young men and women something to do. I can tell you one of the reasons why I got out of the Bayview was that there were programs for me. There were things for me to do. There's something separate than education, right? There's something with that inactivity. Being able after school to have something to do, to direct your attention. Those are preventive measures. Those aren't reactive measures. I think when we think about reactive measures, we think about, we're waiting for the person to commit the crime so then we can punish them. No, if we get them on the front end, then we won't have those problems on the back end.
No, I understand, and this is commendable, that a program that's called the OK program, I don't know whether you've heard of it, I've been working with juveniles, and as a result, the juvenile hall, which was originally designed for about 300 plus boys, now is down to about 65. And I suppose that that's the concept that you are
That's
really working on.
100% the concept, and it goes even deeper than that. I want to get the adult young offender and give him or her the opportunity to know that there's something more than the crime that you committed, that you're better than that. And the reason why I feel that way is because I've seen it work. I know it works. We have to be creative. And I haven't met a DA throughout the country that is thinking the way that I'm thinking. And the reason why I believe I think the way that I do is because of where I've come from and where I started.
And that oftentimes make a big difference, where you come from, where you started. We got to go to break, so don't touch that remote. We will be right back with all about community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris, and I'm speaking with Jimmie Wilson, who is a candidate for Alameda County District Attorney. We will be right back.